Avengers Doomsday is on the horizon, and leaks and rumors have been flooding in from every direction. So I thought, why not bring them all together into one video to piece together the overall story of Doomsday? But fitting everything into a single video wasn't possible. That's why I've structured it into 3 acts as one complete script. And today's video will cover the first act. So buckle up, because this might actually be the real story of Doomsday. The movie doesn't begin with a small action sequence. Instead, it throws you straight into a situation that takes your breath away. Right from the opening scene, there's complete chaos. The sky has turned red, and 2 different planets are moving toward each other. Gravity has collapsed, and buildings are floating in the air. This is an incursion, and it's happening in a universe you already know, Earth 96283. If you're a hardcore Marvel fan, you'll recognize this universe immediately. It belongs to our OG Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. This is the same world created by Sam Raimi, the one we grew up watching and still love to this day. Seeing it get destroyed hits hard emotionally. But since this is an incursion, 2 universes are involved, and the other universe heading toward destruction is the X-Men universe. We then see a portal open, and out step Deadpool and Wolverine. But this time, there's no humor on their faces. They've been sent on a mission by Beast and the rest of the X-Men, a mission to establish a planet-destroying device. Their goal may sound simple, but it's brutally harsh. If they want to save their own universe, they must eliminate Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. Essentially, they have to prune it before the 2 universes collide. This concept is similar to the Time Runs Out comic storyline, where the Illuminati destroyed other planets to save their own. Then comes a moment that will leave audiences in tears. We see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, someone who has always believed in protecting life, step in to stop Deadpool and Wolverine. What follows is Tobey Maguire versus Wolverine. On one side, there's a hero who refuses to take a life. On the other, a mutant willing to go to any extent to save his world and X-23. This fight is going to be epic, bloody, and deeply emotional. A clash of claws versus webs, with both sides desperately trying to save their worlds. While Spider-Man is occupied fighting Wolverine, Deadpool continues carrying out the mission in the background. That's why he stays slightly out of the main fight. In the end, a tragic moment unfolds. Spider-Man somehow manages to defeat Wolverine, but Deadpool successfully detonates Spider-Man's world and escapes. As a result, Spider-Man's universe is destroyed, and Wolverine either dies there or makes the ultimate sacrifice to save his own world. At the end of this sequence, we realize that everything we just witnessed was being observed by Professor X through Cerebro. There's deep sorrow and guilt on his face because he knows that in order to save his own universe, they've committed the murder of an innocent one. On top of that, they've already lost several X-Men along the way. This opening scene immediately establishes that there is no win-win situation in this movie. Either you kill the other, or you die. There is no third option. After this devastating opening, the movie shifts into a flashback. This flashback connects to the iconic ending of Avengers Endgame, where Steve Rogers travels back in time and chooses to live a normal life with Peggy Carter. We see their peaceful home and a calm life together, along with their son, named Jim, who is now around 10 years old. Steve is finally living the life he always dreamed of. But since this is the multiverse saga, peace doesn't last long. Suddenly, a portal opens, and out steps Loki. However, this isn't the god of stories, Loki sitting on Yggdrasil. This appears to be a variant of Loki from before the Loki Season 2 finale. It's possible that Loki has sent an astral projection of himself, one connected to the branches he's holding, into this reality to warn them. Loki appears panicked as he tells Steve that the TVA is still pruning unstable timelines. And since Steve created an alternate reality by traveling through time, both he and his family are now in danger. To protect them, Loki relocates Steve and his family to a new, safer reality, Earth 828. But Earth 828 isn't just any normal universe. This is the universe where the Fantastic Four exist, a retro-futuristic world introduced in First Steps, bordering Latveria. Steve and Peggy adapt to this new universe with fresh identities, and for the next 10 years, they live there peacefully. It's a clever storytelling move by Loki. He essentially inserts Steve Rogers directly into the timeline of the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom without breaking the rules of time travel. The story then shifts to the most anticipated element, the introduction of Doctor Doom. Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom has already been teased on screen in the First Steps post-credit scene. And here, that moment is expanded further. Instead of being portrayed as a typical villain, Doom comes across more like a savior figure, very similar to Thanos in Infinity War. His words carry weight and logic, enough to make people believe that he might actually be right. Doom possesses knowledge that no one else has. He understands that the multiverse is dying and that incursions are spreading everywhere. He approaches Reed Richards, portrayed by Pedro Pascal, and the dynamic between the two becomes tense and fascinating. Doom, possibly a scarred variant from another universe, presents Reed with a proposal. He explains that the only way to stop incursions is to build massive cannons or energy devices and place them across different Earths. When two universes are about to collide, these devices would sever the multiversal connection, essentially cutting the link, so that at least one or both universes can remain safe and avoid an incursion altogether. However, Doom is always thinking one step ahead. As he and the Fantastic Four begin working on this plan, they encounter a major anomaly. They discover why incursions are happening more rapidly on Earth, 828 compared to other universes. The reason is Steve Rogers. Since he left his original timeline, Earth 616, and now exists in Earth 828, he acts like an anchor that destabilizes the fabric of this reality. Similar to the anchor beings concept introduced in Deadpool and Wolverine, Steve is referred to here as a reverse anchor, because his very presence is causing the universe to destabilize. Doom's motivations are also deeply personal. According to leaks, his backstory involves losing his family or people due to multiversal experiments or time travel anomalies. Because of this, he sees Steve Rogers not as a hero, but as a problem that must be solved. At the same time, Doom is also keeping a close eye on Reed and Susan Storm's son, Franklin Richards. In the comics, Franklin is an Omega-level mutant and a reality warper who helped recreate the multiverse after Secret Wars. Doom understands that Franklin's powers could play a crucial role in the future, whether it's creating Battleworld or resetting the entire multiverse. That's why Doom begins to bring Franklin Richards under his influence. Or more accurately, he secretly plans to drain or manipulate his powers. Now that the threat has grown this massive, the heroes of just one universe are no longer enough. Doom, Reed Richards, and Steve Rogers form an alliance and decide they must seek help from Earth 616, the main MCU universe. They travel there, leading to the film's biggest gathering, a meeting that blends the concepts of the Avengers and the Illuminati. On Earth 616, the Avengers are still scattered, but Sam Wilson as Captain America is leading a new team. When Steve Rogers, whom everyone last saw as an old man who had retired, suddenly appears from another universe alongside Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four, everyone is shocked. The reunion between Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers is emotional, but tension quickly rises. This isn't just an Avengers meeting. Yelena Belova and Sentry are also present with the Thunderbolts. Bucky Barnes acts as a mediator, trying to maintain peace between the government and the heroes. Shuri represents Wakanda, still feeling the absence of Namor. But it doesn't stop there. Multiversal heroes are part of this meeting as well. The X-Men from the days of Future Past timeline, exhausted from saving their world again and again, join this alliance too. You might wonder how. That connects back to Monica Rambeau, who ended up in the X-Men universe at the end of the Marvels. As mentioned earlier, the X-Men had already been traveling across universes, planting antimatter, like bombs to destroy other Earths before their own gets destroyed. Since they had Monica's energy signature, they were able to trace Earth 616 and arrive there, making them part of this massive meeting. The biggest twist comes when we see Peggy Carter, played by Haley Atwell, taking on one of the most significant roles in the Avengers. But she's not standing with Cap, she's against him. Peggy realizes that Steve's time travel and the life they built together are the reasons the multiverse has destabilized. Driven by guilt and desperation to save the universe, she sides with Doctor Doom. She believes Doom's path is the only solution, and this becomes a massive emotional blow for Steve. The woman he gave up everything for is now following a man who is willing to destroy entire universes. Not just Peggy, many other heroes in the meeting also agree with Doom. This leads to a deep philosophical clash. Steve believes we don't trade lives, while Doom and Peggy argue we must sacrifice one to save billions. This becomes the core conflict of Act 1, creating a tension similar to Civil War. Monica Rambeau tries to act as a peace broker between the factions to prevent an all-out fight. Act 1 then moves toward its grand finale, ending on a very uneasy note. The alliance is formed, but trust is completely missing. Doom makes his master move by deploying his Doombots across major cities of Earth, 616 and allied universes. But these aren't ordinary Doombots. They are enhanced with DNA and technology derived from Captain America and other multiversal Avengers, making them nearly invincible. It appears like protection, but in reality, Doom is expanding his control. We also get a brief glimpse of the young Avengers, Cassie Lang, Kamala Khan, and Kate Bishop, analyzing this global threat. However, they're not yet ready for the main conflict. Meanwhile, the most dangerous development is happening in the background with Doctor Strange and Clea. While the rest of the world focuses on science and technology, Strange discovers that incursions also have a magical and supernatural cause. As he and Clea investigate in the dark dimension, they uncover that the magic Doom is using is similar to that of Wanda Maximoff and Agatha Harkness, including runes, Darkhold spells, and dark magic. Through this, Doom is not only manipulating multiversal connections, but also pushing them toward destruction. Doom isn't just a scientist, he's also a sorcerer, and he has already realized something crucial. Saving the multiverse may not be possible. That's why he has secretly been working on a plan to create Battleworld, something he hasn't revealed to anyone. Instead, he manipulates Reed and the Avengers into believing he's trying to stop incursions. Act 1 ends with a tense montage, different teams, X-Men, Thunderbolts, Avengers, and the Fantastic Four, split into smaller groups and travel through portals to other universes, setting up Doom's mysterious devices. There's fear in their hearts, but also hope that this will stop the incursions. However, they are far from the truth. In the final shot, we see Dr. Doom sitting in his castle in Latveria, watching his plan unfold perfectly. His mask glints slightly, and behind him stands Franklin Richards. A faint smirk appears on Doom's face, because he knows all the heroes are dancing on his strings. They see him as their savior, but in reality, he is using them to set the stage for Battleworld, a place where everything will be destroyed and only one God will remain, God Emperor Doom. So that was the complete detailed breakdown of Act 1 of Avengers Doomsday, based on leaks, rumors, and available updates. This movie feels like a psychological and emotional roller coaster disguised as fan service. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel because Acts 2 and 3 are coming soon. If you enjoyed the video, like and share with your friends so they can enjoy it too. See you in the next video.